Okay, so thank you, Dr. Jiri Gupta sir, for introduction of the course. So I think 57 participants have joined, and without any delay, we can start the session, today's session. So I just share my slide. Just confirm that slide is visible or not. You can write in the chat box. Any one of you can write in the chat box that slides are visible, so that we can proceed. It's visible, right? So as you can see that the course title contain a short-term course of biostatistics and research methodology. In this 15 days sessions, I have designed a course in such a way that so that all the participants can learn something, because most of the participants are students, few are professor, doctors, and belongs to the different fields. We have a pharmacist, we have a person from the life sciences, we have a person from the management. So what I'll do, I will try to take the examples from the different fields, so that each and every person in the course are able to understand the basic concept of the things which we are going to cover. So without any delay, I'll take the first part. This is the overall schedule of the course. The whole course we have divided into a 15 different sessions. The first session contains the introduction of biostatistics. We are going to discuss about the probability and the normality distribution with the help of SPSS, and we are also going to cover the significance and the assumptions of the test. In session 2, I'll just take about the difference between the descriptive statistics and the analytical statistics. And I don't want to read this whole slide. This we are going to cover day by day. So I'll just come to the further slides. This is the first one. So overall research means what? So before we'll start the sessions, I want you to understand that what we are studying. What is the meaning of research? Research means finding a answer to a question. It can be any kind of question which is there in your mind, and you want to find out that what can be the answer of that. So the process of finding a answer to a particular question called an research. If you are going to go to literature, and there you are going to find a different definition of the research. For example, if you're going to you are browsing a internet, so on the internet, if you add that what is the meaning of research, you are going to find a different thing. So more than, I think, 100 scientists has given a 100 different kind of definition of the research. But if you combine all the definition, and you will conclude that what is the meaning of research, you are going to find a answer in 2-3 lines, which I have taken for my slide, that it is in systematic search for truth. Research is a search for knowledge. What are you doing a research? You are doing a research for a search of knowledge. And the basic definition of research said that research is defined as a 2 terms which you have to remember, that is scientific and systematic. Okay. If it is not a systematic, you can't say that the work you have done, it is a part of your research. Okay. So both the terms should be there in the definition, that research is defined as a scientific and systematic search for information on a specific topic. Now this term called specific topic is also important, that you cannot do 3 or 4 aims together. For example, if you're working on something, so first you have to complete your primary objective, then you can complete your secondary objective. So working on multiple things together, we can't say that you're working in a particular field. Clear? So what you have to do, you have to choose that what was your area or what was your field of research. Clear? Then only you can work on a particular or a specific topic. So if for the student point of view, if there is a question called what do you mean by research, or what is the definition of research, so the answer will be given by Random and Mori. Random and Mori was the scientist who have given the exact definition of research. What you are seeing on the slide, these are the different quotes which are quoted by different authors, either in the book, either on the literature, either on the different research paper or the textbook. So what the random and Mori says, this Redman and Mori was a scientist who has given the exact definition of research by combining all the other definition, that research mean an effort to gain new knowledge. That means you are doing it some kind of effort to gain a new knowledge. This is the exact definition of a research, which should be organized scientific investigation which are done to solve the problem, to test the hypothesis, and to develop or invent new product. So if you are asking me that what is the exact definition of the research, I mean to say this one is the exact definition of the research which will be given by Redman and Mori in 1998. That research is an effort to gain new knowledge, and research which should be an organized scientific investigation which can be carried out to solve the problems, to test the hypothesis, and to develop or invent new products. So this is we can say that the exact definition of the research. Now why we are carrying out, what was the aim of carrying out a research? The aim of carrying out a research is individual to a person to person. For example, if I am a faculty member, I am conducting a research to gain something, to gain an incentives, to gain my name in a particular field. The meaning of research for the student is something else. Meaning for the research for the scientist is something else. So every individual is having a different meaning of the research. But what are the different steps are involved that are most probably common? The steps are basically, the step includes, the first one is understanding the nature of the problem to be studied. That for what reason we are conducting a research, what this we have to understand. So what will be the first point? The first point will be the understanding the nature of the problem to be studied. Once you have understood that for what reason you are working and in what area you want to work, this if this is clear to you, that then you can proceed further to a second step, which will be called identifying. Now identifying the related area of knowledge means what? That you have to identify that how much work has been carried out already by others. So once you will find out this thing, then you can find out, then okay, this is the area where something new you can develop or something you can contribute. Then only your work will be different from the someone else work. And how you're going to identify, you can identify by reviewing the literature. And for example, if M.Pharm person or master students are doing a research in a academics, afterward they have to write a thesis, and in that thesis there is a particular chapter called review of literature. So reviewing literature means what? Reviewing literature means that to gain a appropriate knowledge about that particular field which has been contributed by the other persons or contributed by the other scientists in the same area. So reviewing literature is done to understand that how other have approached or deal with the same problem. So area will be the same. What you are going to do, you have some sort of keywords. With the help of those keywords, you are going to search in a different platform. The most common one is the Google only. After adding a particular keywords, you are trying to find out that okay, what has been carried out and what has been left. So what has been left, from that one you are going to choose, okay, this is the area of work where I can contribute from my side. Once you have chosen the area, after that you can start working on that particular area. You will collect the data. Once data has been collected, now here you need a knowledge of statistics. Till here, for example, still step number 4, all person are working. That means they know their supervisors are there to guide that how to understand the nature of the problem, how to identify the particular area where you want to work. Even review of literature you are also doing. Your supervisor will guide you that how to collect the data, what was the method you are going to apply to collect the data. But after collecting the data, if you have a knowledge of statistics, then only you are going to analyze the data appropriately. Otherwise what will happen, your research is good, your work is good, your the method which you have applied, that was fantastic. But if you have you don't have the knowledge of the statistics, what will happen? You will be lacking on the statistical part. Most probably you are not able to publish your work in a appropriate journal. Then or there will be chances that you have analyzed your data but not as per the rule of statistics, and after that your paper got rejected due to x, y, and z reason. I am going to discuss the different reasons in the further slide or in the further sessions, that what can be the reason or what kind of mistakes we are doing mainly in from the statistical part, by which mean most of the research paper got rejected. Even I have my personal experience, and I have taken screenshots of few different papers and a few different examples I have added in my presentation, by which mean I can make you understand that how papers will be rejected due to errors in research or the different kind of mistake we are conducting while analyzing the data. So once you have analyzed your data, then you can make the conclusion, and then afterwards you can write the discussion of the your research. Clear? So this was just an introduction, that what is the meaning of research, what are the objective, and who has given the definition of research. What so from this slide, what you have to remember, that Redman and Mori is the person who has given the definition of the research, which means research is an effort to gain a new knowledge. Objective. So multiple objectives are there. I have not taken all of them, just have taken 2 slides for them, that what is the main objective. As I told you, that every individual or every person is having a different objective to carry out a different kind of research. So if I'll say in common, the purpose of research is to discover answer through the application of scientific procedure. That means at least whatever the procedure you are going to apply, that should have some scientific background. Then only you can say that you have got the answer of the question by applying some sort of research. There some sort of scientific procedure should be there. Then only you can say that you have carried out an research. Clear? So why we are conducting a research? What are the objective? As simple, to gain or achieve something new. To gain or achieve something new, to know the characteristic of an individual, situation, or a group. Here, individual can be one person, situation can be, for example, uh, in winters or in summer in a particular region of the country, something like that. Clear? Or in a group, for example, some person are working on females, some person are working on in pregnant women, and few of my scholars are working on having a BMI more than 25. So you can carry out a work on a particular groups also. So research objectives includes, the first one is to gain or achieve something new. The second one, to know the characteristic of a particular individual, that how was the situation and or a particular group. Now, the main objective of the research is to test the hypothesis. In these 15 or 20-day sessions, you are going to heard this term called hypothesis several times from my mouth. Clear? So what it means, I'm going to discuss a special session on this one, that what is the meaning of term called hypothesis. I'll just introduce you a few in simple terms. For example, we have a and another variable will be called b. Now, what is this A and what is this B? This example I'm going to quote for all these sessions. For example, A stand for smoking. I'm just writing. And B stands for example, cancer. So if this is the example, so as a researcher, now my hypothesis is what? My hypothesis is to find either A is causing B or not. Now it means what? It means what? It means that if any person is there or any group of persons are there, those who smoke, they will be suffered from cancer or not. For example, if you want to prove this thing, then here you need a stat. You need a statistical analysis to prove this thing that really A is causing B, or the smoking is causing a cancer. So as a researcher, I have given a hypothesis in the beginning. From beginning, I does not know, because all the cancer patients are not a smoker, and all the smokers are not suffering from cancer. Both can be possible. So as a researcher, my hypothesis for carrying out a research will be that A is causing B. Now in the research, in my research part, I have to prove this thing that really A is causing B. So for that, how I am going to prove? I am going to test my hypothesis, and for that different statistical procedure are there that I'm going to apply. And once I will conclude, I have to conclude with the justification. And justification will be what? Justification will be the test values which you have applied. For example, different statistical tests are there. I will apply different statistical tests based upon the type of data which we have received. Now which kind of data we are going to gather? If this is the type of research, then I'm going to divide the data into a different parts. For example, what was the age group of the smokers that I'm going to take, that what will be the age group of the smokers, then what will be the type of smoking, either they are smoking a cigarette, either they are smoking a BD, either they are smoking a cigar, what? Clear? So type of smoking material can be the one of the variable. First variable will be the age, second variable will be the gender, third variable will be that what type of smoking material, then fourth variable will be how many in a day. If the person is smoking a cigarette, then how many in a day? 5, 10, 15, or 20, like this. So number of sessions, we are going to record. So like this, all this will be called as a independent variables of the study. And on the cancer part, might be we will have a different kinds of cancer. Some will have a throat cancer, some will have a chest cancer. Clear? And after that, we can find out what was the stage of the cancer, what will be the grade of cancer. So stage and grade we can find out. Clear? So how this will be justified? So this can be the a part of either master's thesis, or it can be the part of the PhD thesis, that you want to find out either smoking will contribute for the development of cancer or not. So this will be called your hypothesis. And under the hypothesis, you will have a multiple things will be called, for example, independent variable and the dependent variable. So what will be the independent variable and what will be the dependent variable? That is based upon the choice of a supervisor or choice of the researcher, that you want to keep age as an independent variable or not. You want to keep gender as an independent variable or not. You want to see this type of smoking material, you want to see the number of sessions, or you want to keep urban area, rural area, what was the education level. So multiple things can be taken as independent variable, but most important is the dependent variable, which should be fixed, by which mean you are going to justify your research, that okay, if person is a having age between 50 plus, then he will be suffering from the throat cancer, or he will be suffering from the chest cancer. Like this, you can directly justify your research. Okay, I have concluded. You can write in your conclusion part that we have concluded that if the person is smoking a cigarette and more than 10 cigarettes in a day, then he will be surely suffering from the chest cancer having grade 1 and stage 2. Like this, you are going to answer. Clear? So every researcher need to make an hypothesis. So two different kind of hypotheses we have in research. One will be called your H naught, and second will be called as a HA. H naught will be called as null hypothesis. This one will be called null hypothesis, and HA here, most probably we used to write a small a along with H. So HA will be called as alternative. So what is the difference between this null hypothesis and what is the difference between the alternative hypothesis? This will take in the further classes. But the aim of the research is always to reject the null hypothesis. We are always going to reject the null hypothesis. Now difference we will discuss in the further slide, because this is not the today's topic, but just I am giving an introduction that every researcher need to make an hypothesis before carrying out any sort of research. You should have an hypothesis which you are going to test. Clear? So once hypothesis you have made, then you can follow the different part of the research. So before we will start, you should able to understand what is the meaning of research, what is the objective of carrying out any part of research, what do you mean by study design and all. So why we are studying different type of research? I will just give it one example to you. For example, if you are a student or you are working as a professor in a college or whatever, you have to make a title of your research work. So title includes what? Title includes the type of research which you are going to carry it out. Title includes the sample size. Title includes the area where you have worked. Title includes the which methodology you have adopted. Title includes that what was the study design you have opted for your research. So how to make an effective title, and if you are carrying out a mistake or you are not bothering that which words I should take to make a title, just you have you are looking at Google and you have clubbed 2 or 3 titles together and you have made a new title of your work, then what are the different consequences which you have to face? This we will discuss. So while making a title, you should be able to understand first that which kind of or which type of research you are doing. Once this is clear, then you can add that particular word in your title. For example, might be you are carrying out only descriptive statistics, or you are carrying out only descriptive type of research, so no need to add a term called analytical. So overall, if you're talking about research, the research are classified into basically 2 different types. One we used to call a descriptive type of research, and second we used to call as a analytical type of research. Now what these 2 types means: descriptive means you are just giving a description. For example, if a company is there who want to find out that what will be the result of upcoming elections in the state, so what they will do, they will make a survey, and by asking 100 or 150 people, they will give a opinion polls, different kind of opinion polls, and they will suggest something that this party got this much of percentage of votes, and this party have got this much percentage of votes. So some sort of opinion poll, basically called as a descriptive type of research, and that will be called as a fact finding investigation. There you are not directly participating in the therapeutic intervention. That means you are not operating any kind of machines, you are not withdrawing any sort of blood sample from the patient, you are not carrying out any kind of procedure with your hand directly. You are just observing that what is happening or what is going on around you, and you are gathering a data, and after that you are concluding your work. So that kind of research will be called as a descriptive research. Basically, the descriptive research is carried out to find out the different fact, and it will be called as a fact finding investigations. It will be called as a fact finding investigations, which describe the characteristics of an individual, situation, or in group. So it can be one person, it can be a particular situation, as I told you, like in elections, or it can be a particular group. So in descriptive research, you are not working yourself on the ground. That means you're just observing that. For example, most of my students are doing a descriptive type of research. What they're doing, they are going to ward rounds, and during the ward rounds, whatever the doctor has written on the case sheets, they are just observing that what kind of treatment has been given to the patient, and after that they will come back and they will analyze the data. Okay, and they will try to find out that any kind of drug interaction is there, any kind of adverse drug reaction was there or not on the patient or not, or is there any type of medication error in the prescription. So that kind of work will be called as a descriptive type of research. In analytical research, the researcher itself is participating in the research. That means they are withdrawing the blood sample, they are operating in a particular machine, for example, zeta sizer or any sort of HPLC, HPTLC, and after that they are observing that what was the results. So what they're doing, they're testing an hypothesis and they're trying to find out a relationship between the two variables. Now, when we are finding a relationship of two variable, it means what? It means that we are trying to find out the relationship of independent variable with dependent variable. Now, dependent variable means here always called as outcome variable. Outcome variable. And independent variable will be called as always test variable. Now, as the example I have given to you, that A is causing B. So always A will be called as independent variable and B will be called as a dependent variable. And even you can say that smoking is causing a cancer. So A will be taken as a smoking and even A will be taken as a independent variable, you to understand the concept. Whereas dependent variable will be B, and B you can take as a cancer, and you can correlate that smoking is responsible for causing some sort of cancer. So this is the two most common type of research, that you are carrying out a descriptive or you carrying out a analytical. This you have to find out first. Clear? Other type of research are also there based upon the nature of work which you are performing. I'm just going to take a few examples, and from whenever you're going to make a title of your research work, you have to choose a specific word. For example, you can add the analytical word in your title, you can add the descriptive word in your title, or in the same way, these are two other types. For example, applied versus fundamental. Applied research is what? Applied research means it is a action, also called an action research. For example, if any students are there, those who want to attempt the MCQs questions. So this is the most common MCQ question which will be asked in the GPAD or even in the entrance exam. That action research is called as what? So action research is called always as a applied research. This is the MCQ type question. And fundamental research is also called as basic or pure research. This you have to remember. These two questions will be asked multiple times. I have seen in the MCQ types that action research, either they will call what is the alternative of applied, or what is the alternative of fundamental, or fundamental research is known as what, or action research is known as what. So this you have to remember, that applied research is also known as action research and fundamental research is also known as basic or pure. Okay, so what it means, both types. Let me delete all these. Yeah, applied research or action research is to carried out to find out a solution of a real life problem requiring an action or policies decision. So applied research will be carried out to find out a solution for a real life problem, where, for example, if you are working in a staying in a society, and in that society there is a some sort of problem. So what kind of action will be taken to find out the solution of that problem? So whatever the solution you have taken, that means you have taken part in a applied kind of research. That means you have applied something here. So this is the applied research. And fundamental research is also known as basic or pure research. It is undertaken only for the sake of knowledge. That means you are not going to find out the solution for that, but it is just carried out to find out for the sake of knowledge. Clear? We are not bothered that what will be the solution for that, and even we are not intended to apply into a practice. So what you have to remember in this particular slide, that applied research is the research which should be carried out to find out to a real life problem and require an action or policies decision afterwards. Whereas the fundamental research is also known as basic or pure research, and this is carried out only just for the sake of knowledge and does not require any intervention to apply it in to a practice. Two other types are there, quantitative and qualitative, and as the name indicates, we are bothered about the quality of our work, and in second one we are bothered about the quantity, we are more bothered about the numbers, and in the first one we are more bothered about the quality phenomena. So I'll not take that much time in this. Yeah, this is important. Conceptual versus empirical research. Now, the first one, conceptual research, is generally used by the philosopher or thinkers. If you think that you are a philosopher or you are a thinker, it means you are carrying out a conceptual type of research. Now, which kind of people are doing this kind of research? This kind of research will be carried out to develop a new concept about anything. So it can be about anything. For example, you have developed a concept that it will be just only on the paper. You are not working on the field, you are not working on a model, just you are giving in a concept that this is the another method to reach the moon. You are not actually practicing, you are not developing a model, just you are giving an idea, you are giving in a concept that this can be carried out. So that kind of research will be called as a conceptual research, where most commonly it will be done by the philosopher or thinkers, and it will be done to develop a new concept about anything. So that kind of research will be called conceptual. Another type is empirical research. That is also important. It is a data-based research. Whenever you are carrying out an empirical type of research, then what you're doing, you are taking a previous data, and by comparing the previous data, you are concluding something. You are taking not just observation alone at the present situation, you are taking a data from the previous studies also, and from the past experience, what you have learned, that you are incorporating in the research, in your research, and you are giving a new observation that in past this has been happened, and in future might be this is possible. So that kind of research will be called as empirical research. So basically, the empirical research always aim to come up with a new conclusion. You are able to find out that you can give a new system, or you can add a new theory that Newton had said so and so, but if this thing can be carried out in such a way, new things will come up. So like this, you can give a new concept of new theories. For example, if new theory has been adopted by some institute or some other persons, it means you have given a drawbacks of the previous theory, that my theory is better than the Newton's law, or my work is better than the previous person, and then you have to justify that how your work is better than the previous person. So that kind of work will be called as a empirical research. Experimental research is the another one, historical research and exploratory. These are the three one. After that, I'll not discuss much more. So like this, if you're going on literature, you are going to find a different type of research. So what was the motive of reading this particular topic? Whenever you are going to make in title of your research work, for example, you have carried out a wonderful research and now you want to publish a paper, research paper. So what will be the title of your research paper? So your title of research paper should have a multiple keywords, and out of those multiple keywords, few words should be taken from these words. For example, you can add the term called descriptive, you can add the term called quantitative, qualitative, fundamental, applied, exploratory, experimental, historical, exploratory, like this. From out of these words, you can add one word most probably in your title, so that other person, those who are going to refer your work, those who are going to read your paper, can find out that what exactly you have done by reading just your title only. Clear? So this is important, that you should be able to understand that what kind of work actually you are doing. For example, you are working in a different field, and in the title you have added a wrong keyword, then it will be cause some sort of confusion. So experimental research means what? It is designed to assess the effect of one particular phenomena by keeping the other variable constant. That means you are working on two different variable, and one variable will be kept constant, and second variable you can increase or decrease, and you can find out that if one variable is constant, what is the effect of on the another variable. I'll just give you example to that. For example, you are working in a management, and you want to find out that what will be the sale of the company if you are going to run a ad on a television. Different kind of ad might be you have seen on the television. So if you are running a ad 5 times in a day, then how it is going to affect the sale of the company. And if you are going to run a ad 10 times in a day, 15 times in a day, how it is going to affect the sale. Either the sale is going to increase or it is going to decrease. So like these two different variable will be there. One variable will be type of advertisement, and second will be the sale of the company. So like this experiment work, experiment you can research, you can do. Next one is your historical research. Now this is the study of the past records. Mainly might be you have seen the different archaeologists, those who are working in a different fields, and they will try to find out that what has happened in 1500 BC, what has happened in 100 years back or 1500 year back. So that kind of research will be carried out by mainly archaeologists, and will be called as a historical research. Exploratory research is another one that will take place where there is only and only little knowledge is there. For example, when this pandemic started, COVID-19, so we were not knowing about the genome of SARS CoV. So we were having only little knowledge about that it belongs to a bat, but what were the actual sequencing of genome we were not knowing. So scientists have started working on that. So that kind of research will be called as exploratory research, and it will be carried out where only a little or there is no prior knowledge of a particular phenomena. So this particular type of research will be called as a exploratory research. So other examples are, for example, if you want to work only for the future, so you can say that I'm doing a prospective research. If you are working from today to past, then you can say I'm working on a retrospective research. And if you are just observing the what is going on surrounding, then you can say that I'm doing a observational studies or observational research. Clear? So from out of these 10 or 15 different terms which we have evaluated, what you have to do, you have to choose a exact term which you are going to add in the title. That exactly you should be able to understand that what kind of work I'm doing. I'm doing that descriptive, or either I'm doing the analytical. So once you have decided out of these two that you are doing a descriptive or analytical, then you can proceed further. Under the analytical, you will have a qualitative or quantitative. So on what you are working. For example, if you're working on HPLC, that it means you are working on a qualitative type of research. So mainly, if we are conducting a descriptive type of research, it means what? You are working on what and how. That means you are trying to find out the answer for these two terms. You are trying to answer for what and how. The descriptive research is a particular phenomena focusing upon a issue of what. That means what is happening, how much it has happened, rather than why it is happening. So you are not bothered about this thing. You are not bothered that why it has happened. Just you want to find out that how much it has happened and what has happened. That means if I'll say, I'm taking the same example that A is causing B, so this is our hypothesis that A is causing B. So in descriptive research, you will try to find out what, that how A is causing B, that how smoking is causing cancer. Clear? So why, answer of why you are going to get in the analytical. If you are doing a analytical and are also called as explanatory research, there you are going to get the answer of why. So most of the student, what they used to do, they will combine the descriptive as well as the explanatory. So most of the research which or the different research paper which I come across through, I can get for review, or my students are also doing. So they are not doing only on the descriptive, and they are not doing only on the explanatory. They used to combine both together. They want to find out that what has happened, how it has happened, and why it has happened. So answer of all the three they want to find out. But if you want to do a smaller project, for example, you have a UG student to guide, or only UG student want to do a small project, then you can work only on the what, or you can only work on the how instead of taking why. So when you combine all the three things together, that what has happened, how it has happened, and why it has happened, then the work is going to be broader. So most of the PG students are taking this sort of work, that what has happened, how it has happened, and why it has happened. So finding a answer to a question basically will be called as a explanatory research. So this type of research is involved in explaining why something happens. That means you are trying to find out the answer for a why A has caused B. How A has caused B, how much A has caused B, that has been explained in the descriptive. A contains what? Because of that, B has been occurred. It means smoking contains what, which has leads the patient to develop a cancer. So the answer is carcinogens. A contains carcinogen. Because of that, people are suffering from cancer. So finding a type of carcinogens inside the A is the answer of why. That means you have identified that which kind of carcinogens are there inside a cigarette, and you have identified, and you can find out the answer for the why, and that kind of research will be called as a explanatory research. One more, a new trend of research you are going to find on different research paper, that will be called as a predictive research. Now different terms we are using for that, we used to call as a multiple time frame analysis. Now what it is, some students are there, some scholars are there, which are more interested to find out that what is going to happen after 50 years, or what is going to happen after 15 years or 50 years. Clear? So that kind of research will be called as a predictive research, and for that a particular tool is there, and I have written the name of the tool. It's a called statistical software called Gretel. Now this is the name of the software, Gretel, which will be used to find out the content which can be used to find out the predictive research. For example, now if at present the population of India is 1.30 crore, 130 crore. So after 50 years, what will be the population of India? So after doing a research on a software called Gretel, you are able to find out that what will be the population of India after 50 years. So for that, what you have to do, if you want to work for 15 years, for example, this is 2021, and you want to find out for next 15 years. So you have to add the data in the Gretel software from last 15 years. Then only you can predict for next 15 years. So how many years you want to predict? You want to add the data inside the software for previous years, and the software which we are using for that is Gretel. Name of the software is Gretel. That kind of research where we are announcing that what is going to happen after 15 year or 50 year, and name of the research will be called as time frame analysis. This is multiple words will be added if you're working on a two or three things together. For example, you want to find out about the climate, you want to find out about the population, then two things are there. But basically if you're working on a single phenomena, then we used to call as only time frame analysis or the factorial analysis. So these are the different type of research, as I taken in the previous slides, that out of that you have to choose a particular word. So while making a title of your research work, what you should include? You should include the type of research what you are doing. So first word you have, what you are going to take, you are going to add in the title that you are doing a descriptive, you're doing a analytical, you're doing a quantitative, you're doing a qualitative, pure, applied, exploratory, fundamental, what kind of research you're doing. So that word should be added in the title. Once you came to know that this is the type of your research, after that you can come to the study design. Study design is what? That it means methodology of your work, that you, for example, you are doing a analytical study. So under the analytical you have made a 2 groups or 3 groups to find out that which group is performing well, or you have a 2 or 3 different molecules and you want to find out that which molecule is having a better efficacy against other 2 or other 3. So that kind of study will be called as a case or control, like that. So once you have chosen a type of your research, then you can decide the your study design. So the term for the study design should be also added in the title. So might be you have seen in the different research papers that a case control study, a cross-sectional study, or case crossover study. So these all are called your study design, not the type of your research. Type of research is different and type of study design is the different. So first thing, for making your title, you have to add the type of your research, that which kind of research you have done. After that you will find out that what study design you have applied. For example, just you're observing, you're doing a descriptive statistics. So in that case you have to use the term called cross sectional. If you have a 2 groups, one group is case and one group is control, and you are comparing 2 different groups, then you are going to use a term called case control. So like this, different type of study designs are there. This we will study in the further classes also, that what are different study designs are there and how it will be chosen. So once you will choose the type of research, then you have to choose the study design. For example, you can choose the prospective or you can choose the retrospective. After that, if you want, so from these 3 things you can make the title of your research work. And some scientists are there, even I used to add, or I used to like, the name of the independent variable and name of the dependent variable in the title. I will show my research paper examples to you, where what I did, I have added a name of the independent variable and name of the dependent variable in the title, because whenever someone wants to refer your paper or someone want to find your paper in the Google, what they will find, that directly they will use some keywords on the different searching platform. They will add how type of cooking oil affect the systolic blood pressure. So type of cooking oil will be the independent variable and systolic blood pressure will be the dependent variable. So name of the type of research, type of the study design has not been added in the title. Directly we have switched to the independent variable and dependent variable in the title. Even you can add the study site in your title, you can add the country in your title, you can add the sample size in your title, even you can add the study duration, that study has been carried out for 3 years, study has been carried out or 5 years, like this. So whenever you are going to make a title, try to add all these things, try to make a broader title, so that if anyone want, because you will be happier only when someone else is going to cite your work, then only you are going to get recognized. Otherwise your paper will be somewhere in the database of some journal's house uh, drives, then you are not going to get any recognition for that. So make sure that your research paper or review paper is contains such different keywords, so that if anyone is searching on a different search engine like Google or IBing, your paper should come first instead of other persons. So for that, what you have to do, you have to make a title of your research work which should contain all these things. So I'll just show different examples to you that it is not necessary that you should add all these things, that you should add the type of your research work, type your study design also, you should add retrospective, prospective. Either 6 or 7 points I have written on the slide. Out of 6 or 7, you can opt at least 3 or 4. And if you want, you can use all the 7. That is much better. But if not, at least you can add. And for example, I'll just show one example to you where I have written a example of country where I have published a research paper which was rejected 2 or 3 times just because of writing a single word in that. Once I got a comment from the journal house that we don't want to publish your paper because of this reason. Then what I did, I have removed that particular word from the title and I have communicated to another journal, and it was accepted within a short duration of time. So just replacing a single word in the title is working a lot. I'll just show different examples to you. This is the example of research paper. For example, you can see the how we are going to make a title of research paper, which was published in International Journal of Clinical Practice in 2021 March, last month. Now you can see that what is the title. This is my paper only. Impact of physical activity and cooking oil. That means both are independent variable. Both are independent variable of the research amongst diabetes with coexisting hypertension patients. So population on which I have worked was hypertensive and diabetes patients. On economic cost and length of stay. This economic cost and length of stay was dependent variable. These two were dependent variables. So in this title, what I did, I have added both independent variable and both dependent variable of my study. Even I have added a sample size, that how much patient was there in the study, and type of study is a observational. It was the observational study. So this title contains what? This title contains independent variable. This title contains dependent variable, sample size of the study, and the type of research. So you can see that 4 things I have combined together to make a title, that impact of physical activity and cooking oil amongst diabetes with coexisting hypertension patient on economic cost and length of stay. 2- a 1914 patient observational study. So sample size also I have included this one, and type of research was observational study. I'll show second example to you. This was also my paper, which was published in January 2021. And you can see how I have made the title for this one. Economic cost was independent variable. Sorry, it was dependent variable. Economic cost and length of stay. These are the 2 dependent variable which I have worked. These were dependent variable for my study. Population was the same and study was the same, but from the same study I have carried out more than 7 to 8 papers. From the same study I have taken a 7 to 8 papers on the different variables. The study was the same. So you can see on the slide that 2 different dependent variable I have taken. One is economic cost and second one is length of stay. Population was the same, diabetes with coexisting hypertension, in correlation to laboratory investigation. This laboratory investigation was the independent variable. These 2 was the independent variable. Now you can see what I have added. I have added a country and I have added a duration. In previous slide, I have added a sample size and the type of research. But in this paper, I have added name of the country and the study duration. That duration study was carried out for at least 5 years. A 5-year ground report. Clear? So all these things you have to remember that what you are adding in the title. I'll just show one more example to you. This was the latest paper which was published in June 2021, last month only, that how to spot COVID-19 patient. So this was the main title, main work. Okay, if anyone want to find out, or they want to they are searching in a Google, so what they will search, that how to spot COVID-19 patient, this will be the most common keyword. So this I have added as a main term in the title of the paper. And in which topic I have worked? I have worked on a speech and sound analysis. That my actually work was on this, that how we are going to find out the COVID-19 patient with the help of sound and the speech for the preliminary diagnosis of corona patient. So type of population is what? Type of population is COVID-19 patient. I have worked on what? Speech and sound. But the title starts from what? That which kind of question will come into the other's mind. So how other person is going to look for answer in a Google, that one only I have kept as a title of the research work. So this is the example. But for the smaller study, for example, if you are writing a case report on a single patient, then no need to add anything which I have shown in the slide, that means type of research or type of study design, independent variable, dependent variable. Directly you can write in such a way like I have written in the case report. This is also a case report written by me in the 2021. Levofloxacin was the name of the drug which have caused bolus fixed drug eruption. That means I have not added the dose, I have not added the any sort of formulation that levofloxacin belongs to which dosage form. Just I have added the main drug have caused what. I have directly fixed into a specific keywords. And as I know that it was a rare case report, so you can add a rare case report also, and if you want. So if your work is small, no need to make a big title. Directly use only a specific terms, and before adding those specific terms, just think in such a way that if you are looking for that similar kind of papers, so what kind of keywords you are going to add in a Google. So those keywords must be included in the title of your work. Then only you are going to get a high citation of your work, and your paper will be more visible in different search engine platforms. So these are the few examples which I have shown you, but the things which you have to remember, that out of these, whenever you are going to make in title of your research work, what you have to do, make sure that which type of research you are doing, make sure that what was the study design which you have opted for your research, and it has been included in the title or not. Prospective and retrospective is not that much important, but as I have shown the example to you, that directly adding independent variable and dependent variable in the title will have a more impact instead of type of research or type of study design. And if you want, you can add the study site also, you can add the country, and you can add the sample size and the study duration. So I have shown the example to you for the sample size, where I have directly mentioned, you can see here that 119 patient, 19 and 14 patients, and study duration, you can see that was a second example, that a 5-year ground report. So other person who is going to refer your paper, he will have some impact that another person have worked at least 5 years. So how much I have to work for that particular area or that particular phenomena, they can think. And if it is a case report or small report you are writing, just be stick to the specific terms, specific words, so that your title will be short. This is the example where I want to show that one single word, how it is going to affect your research. Might be you're able to see or not. I'll just zoom a little bit so that you should be able to see properly. I'm trying to find out that how to zoom. If not, I'll just let you know that what is there in the slide. This is the comments which I have received from one journal, one most popular journal called International Journal of Clinical Practice. And this is the title of my research work, which was rejected. Now I'm going to discuss the reason for what is it has been rejected. I will read the comments of the reviewer also. The name of the title was factor analysis. As there is a time frame analysis, I told you there is another type of study called factor analysis. So factor analysis was carried out on diabetic patient having a coexisting hypertension. It was a population study, and this title I have made for my research work. But what mistake I have done, I have added a term called this one, Punjab. I have added a term called Punjab and North India. Clear? So what kind of response I have got from the senior editor of the journal? Thank you for submitting your work to ISFCP. I hope that reviewer comment will be helpful to you. This work is quite region specific and might therefore be better to be considered by a more regional journal. That means they don't want to publish my work because I have added a region. What is going to happen in the diabetic patient or diabetic patient suffering from coexisting hypertension in Punjab? So they have rejected my paper because this term was there, Punjab and North India, because they said it was a IJCP, International Journal of Clinical Practice, is a international journal where we have a readers from all over the world, and they are not that much interested that what's going on in Punjab. We don't want to consider. Clear? Even comments of the reviewer was very good. You can see on which kind of comment I have received. Reviewer one, always 2 or 3 reviewers will be there. So all the 3 reviewers has given the similar comments, but I have taken in the slide only one reviewer comment. Which kind of comment I have received? You can see the author have written the manuscript very well, and the manuscript technical content is very strong. The result of factorial analysis are written very nicely and sound goods. And they have discussed here in this slide that what I have done in the research paper, what are the different variable in which I have worked. So both or 3 reviewer was there in that particular journal. All the 3 reviewers have given a very good comment that all the 3 have recommended to publish the article in the upcoming issue. But senior editor of the journal and chief editor of the journal have rejected this particular paper because of these 2 words. Then what I did, I have removed these words from my title, and I have written a population-based study in India, only in India. And the next month it was published in the another journal, that was European Journal of Hospital Pharmacy. So why author have this editor have rejected the paper? Because of this region specific. Might be their readers are not that much interested to find out that what is going on inside the Punjab. Instead of they are more bothered about the whole country or whole world. So just adding a simple single word, how it is going to affect either your paper will be rejected or your paper will be accepted. This is the live case which I have experienced, and right now I'm sharing with you. So what is my point of view? Whenever you are making your title, make an effective title so that you will be beneficial. Try to incorporate all the things which has been mentioned in this particular slide, that what is the type of your research, study design. What I did, you can follow the same way. Directly add your independent variable and dependent variable of your study in the title, and if you want, you can add the study site, country, but make sure how it is going to impact. If it is showing a positive impact for by adding the country, then only add the particular part. Don't add your city, don't add your region, don't add North India, South India. Just write directly, study has been conducted in India. That's it. That is more feasible. If your sample size is good, is it is justified, then add sample size. Otherwise, no need. And if you think that your study duration is going to give a positive effect to your paper, to your research paper, then add. For example, my study was conducted for a longer duration of time, at least 5 years. Then you can add a 5 year. If it is only 5 months, I will not add study duration in the title. So this is the way that how we are going to make a title, and exactly that how to proceed with the data analysis, how to make a sheet in the SPSS, that we will take in the tomorrow session. And from this slide, I'll start tomorrow, that how directly we are going to proceed with the analysis. Theoretical part, I'm not going to cover that much. Directly, we will proceed with the hands-on training, how to make a sheet in the SPSS software. So what I'll recommend, as we have discussed in the WhatsApp group also, there is a website called Get Into PC. I'll just write in the chat box. You should able to get it from there. You can download the software called SPSS. I'm writing in the chat box. It's www.getintopc.com. From this particular site, you can find a keyword called SPSS version 25. Both version 25 or 26 you can download, and with the file of SPSS, you are going to get a instructions that how to crack. If you are going to follow that instruction, you will be able to find out that you have to replace a file which is come along with the whole SPSS suite. Name of the file is ISREVSER. This is the name of the file. This file you have to replace into the C drive of your folder, so that your software is going to work for at least 5,000 days instead of 30 days. So that is the unethical way. As I told you, I don't want to recommend all you into a open platform, but if you follow the instruction, you are going to use the software directly. So once the software has been installed, so it will be in your system, and I'll let you know that how to make a sheet and how to add the variable. So every individual have to work separately. That means it's not the same way that if your friend have making a sheet of SPSS, so you can use the same sheet. Every researcher is having a different hypothesis, different objective, different variable. So every individual have to make their own sheet. You cannot use the sheet which is made by someone else, and you can proceed your work in the same sheet, because objective of their research work will be different and objective of your research work will be different. So you have to add, or you have to customize your own sheet separately, because whenever you will install the software, it will be blank. It will be like in MS Office Excel. So you have to start from the ABCD. So I will let you know how to open the software from the beginning, how to add the variables, how to customize the sheet as per the requirement of your project work. We will take 2 or 3 or more than 5 or 6 examples for each particular kind of variable, how to handle the numerical variable, how to handle the categorical variable in the sheet, how to do the coding in the SPSS. So all these things I'm going to take in the tomorrow's session. So if any person is having a query for today's session, they can drop in the chat box. I will be happy to answer. I think I have received 2 or 3 few terms. I have got a query that sir, please repeat dependent and independent variable. Yeah, see, whenever we conduct a research, we are working on 2 different kind of variables. Test variable will be called as independent variable, and outcome variable will be called as dependent variable. I can explain this with an example. For example, you have 3 different drugs to evaluate, drug A, B, and C, and you want to find out that which drug is better. And all 3 drugs are antihypertensive. For example, one is your ACE inhibitors, second is your beta blocker, and third group is your calcium channel blocker. So either ACE inhibitor is better, either beta blocker is better, or either calcium channel blocker is better. You want to find out this with a small research. So all the three drugs will be called as a independent variable. So how you are going to find out? Obviously, you are going to give these three drugs to a patient who are suffering from hypertension, and you are going to record the systolic blood pressure and diastolic blood pressure of the patient. So systolic blood pressure and diastolic blood pressure readings will be called as a dependent variable of your study. So what you have to do, you have to look that dependent variable is available in what form, numerical or categorical, and even independent variable is available in what type, either it is numerical or it is categorical. Based upon that only we are going to choose the statistical test, and this we will study in the further classes. But at least you should able to understand that what is the meaning of independent variable and what is the meaning of dependent variable. The example I have given to you, that A is causing B, that smoking is causing a cancer. So smoking will be called as a independent variable, and what has caused cancer has been developed. So cancer will be called as a dependent variable in the study. So this is the example by which mean you can understand that what is the meaning of independent variable in the study and what is the meaning of dependent variable. So the example I have given to you, that out of three different drugs which you are going to evaluate, then which one is better. So all the three samples will be called as independent variable, and with the reading, by which mean you are going to evaluate that which drug is better, that systolic reading of systolic blood pressure or reading of diastolic blood pressure will be called as a dependent variable. Yeah, we have another question, that is the experimental research is similar to impact evaluation. Yes, sir. Experimental research is similar to impact evaluation because directly you are taking part into a therapeutic intervention. That means you are withdrawing the blood sample, you are directly taking part yourself in the research. We have another question: how to identify independent variable and how to identify dependent variable. Uh, See, it is researcher own hypothesis that what will be the independent variable and what will be the dependent variable. Actually, all the lab values will be considered as a dependent variable. That is the thumb rule. All the lab values will be considered as a lab values, dependent variable. And one more thing you can apply to find out that which one is independent and which one is dependent. For example, you are doing a counseling of the student, clear, and before counseling you have conducted a test, and what was the test score student has obtained before the counseling, that will be considered as independent variable. And after that you have done the counseling of the student, and again you have given a test to student, and you want to find out that your counseling was really effective or not. So you have taken a two readings, one before counseling and one after counseling. So before counseling will be called independent variable, and after counseling the reading which you have got will be called as dependent variable of the study. So test variable which you want to test, basically it will be called as a independent variable, and after performing the test what you have got, that variable will be called as a dependent variable. We have another queries. Sir, please explain how to download the software. You don't have to do anything. Just go to this website, get into PC. There is an option on the top that look for the software. Just add IBM SPSS. You are going to you will get a window to download the software. Just download and run the software in your system. As I'm running a MacBook, so just make sure that which version you are downloading. You are downloading for MacBook or you are downloading for Windows. It is available for both the operating system. So make sure that which one you are using, and even if you are using a window, then make sure that you are using a 32-bit or 62-bit 64-bit. So according to, just make the properties of your system, then download accordingly. So once you will download and you are not able to find that particular file which is used to crack the software, that IRSEVC file that I'm going to send you by mail. So what you have to do, you have to replace that particular file in C drive of your folder. I will just write the route in the chat box. So you have to follow that path. Once you will reach on that path of your system, then you replace that particular file. So your system, your software will work 5,000 days instead of 30 days. First, what you have to do, you have to go into the C drive. I'll just write in the chat box. Just go to C drive. After the C drive, go to program file. At the program file, go to IBM folder, then go to SPSS. Here you are going to get a version number, either 25 or 26, and replace file. I have written in the chat box. This is the C, means C drive of your system. This is for window platform. I think you are able to see that you have to go to the C drive of your system, then go to program file. In the program file, you are going to get a folder called IBM. Inside the IBM, you are going to get a folder called SPSS, then version. And inside the version, when you will go, it can be 24, 25, or 26 based upon the version which you have downloaded. Then replace the file which I'm going to send you. So once you will replace the file, then your system, software will work around 5,000 days instead of 30 days. Make sure that once you will download the software in your system, do not open it until unless you will not follow this procedure. Do not run the software, just directly install and close. Do not run, do not open the software, just install and close the software. Follow the step which I have mentioned to replace the file. Then it will work. Yeah, for MacBook, what you have to do, you have to go to the, on the top, you are going to see, even I am using a MacBook, I will show that how to do it. I'll just, you are able to see, I'll share my screen, just wait. I'm sharing my whole screen. This is for MacBook.